I'm a doctor. I work 80 hours a week. I need someone who's going to be in my bed at 2 a.m. who I don't have to eat breakfast with.
I hate breakfast.
Good.
Let's remember, where are you?
You want to come back strong here. Like, where am I? Why don't you check your underpants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't write that.
Maybe we should establish ground rules. No lying, no jealousy. Don't list me as your emergency contact. I won't call.
Don't ask me what I think about your body.
Deal.
I can't focus on my porn with all this real sex going on around me.
All right, very simple story here. Natalie Portman, she plays a crazy chick, and Ashton Kutcher's a bitch.
I was about to say, I thought she was playing a dude, and Kutcher was playing a little fucking pussy of a woman.
Oh, no, man.
Now,
Shit.
I've met this girl before. I have a couple times, in fact, where the girl goes, look, I'm too busy for this shit. I will tell you right now that I am fucked up in the head, but I do need dick and lots of it until such time as I tell you otherwise. And here's the mistake Ashton Kutcher makes. He didn't listen to her at all. All he heard was, I can give her dick. The rest of it just left is because these girls exist. They do.
Cyrus, you
have
know that,
fun.
you know that,
fuck them, but go away the moment they give you the crazy eyes.
You know that chat room chicks don't count, right?
Yeah. I mean, basically, he is playing the woman because that happens with. It's funny because the first half of the movie is just so the role reversal where he's done everything the woman does, where he's like bringing the flowers and the balloons and she's
his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah.
Crying.
That's what good sex does to a guy. Turns you into the bitch. I mean, you know,
even if you're Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens in these relationships.
That's what he needs in his career right now. Yeah, is to be portrayed as a sensitive guy because God knows his career's going nowhere as the big dumb jock.
He's even more susceptible because he's so good looking. He's used to just having it come to him whenever he wants. Now suddenly somebody's yanking it away, and he's like doesn't know what to do. Like,
well, you know this ain't real now. I mean,
only in the movies.
No, people still throwing ass at him in real life. But in this movie, he plays a sweet-natured guy who falls for this girl, Natalie Portman's character, who is probably the best piece of ass he's ever had in his life. But she turns around and tells him, listen, if you're looking for a relationship, that ain't me, okay? I'm a busy girl. Let's just be sex friends. We'll get together for a bunch of booty calls. Now, every guy thinks that is the dream situation. But we all know what we would do. We would want to lock that shit down as soon as possible. So he does what any of us would do. He becomes sensitive, saying all the things and doing all the things that we think a woman would want to hear to stick around. But her, she ain't having it. But you know what? That's why these relationships cannot work. I mean, they say that people are, or at least men and women just can't be sex friends with benefits because somebody's always going to like fall in love. And I don't think that's what it is. I just think that, a girl just gives it out so much that you get used to it. And you don't want it to go away.
Well, look, here's the bottom line. People are stupid and people get jealous. And that's what they fail to realize. You go look for one swinger couple that's actually made it throughout the years without them breaking up or something stupid happening. It's a fantasy world. That shit doesn't happen.
Well, obviously you haven't talked to Mr. and Mrs. Coleman, have you?
The problem is it can work for like 3 weeks, but that's it. You can't keep that shit going for months. You got to cut it off while it's still good because otherwise it ends in some big nasty fight.
It can only work if the two people are narcissists.
Well, what if they just had like they're nymphomaniacs and that's what they had in common?
It's not going to work for
I believe in this.
Again, go back to my scenario.
But that's what you have here. You have Natalie Portman is the crazy chick that everybody has met at least one time. Hey, look, if you go off and have enough sex or at least date enough, you meet that one crazy chick. And she happens to be
Granted, she's not going to look like Natalie Portman. So.
No,
probably not.
So yeah,
those chicks, they look like something that crawled out of the river.
Yeah, and Ashton Kutcher, he's the son of a famous has-been actor, and his heart is in the right. Like he doesn't want to be like his dad. Like his dad has just fucked up all his life, and he's like, I got a good heart. I don't want to be that guy.
Okay, and he's played by Kevin Kline.
Yeah,
didn't you get the impression he was supposed to be Alan Thicke?
That's kind of
the whole time.
He kept
Who's Alan Thicke?
From Growing Pains.
I don't know. I got the feeling he was supposed to be Bill Cosby. Those messed up sweaters he was wearing.
Those Mr. Rogers.
Those Mr. Rogers sweaters. Yeah. Always some bright ass color was all the way. But so these two, they get together and it just doesn't work. I mean, from the very moment that he meets Natalie Portman takes his ass to a funeral. I mean, she's already giving him signs. That's their first date, to go to her dad's funeral. And then she tells him, it's like, look, if you're lucky, you're not gonna have to deal with my crazy ass anymore. But Ashton Kutcher, you know, being the bitch that he is, he has to like
6 years later.
I mean, yeah, 6 years before they even have sex. He's up there talking about. Now she says they had like maybe a one night stand when they were 14. But when you're 14, what is that?
Well, they did. She was kidding.
Okay, all right.
Did you fall asleep, or were you texting?
She was so crazy I couldn't tell.
It's like it's not just that she's giving him signs. She spells it out to him directly.
So what's up with not calling me back?
I'm not good at this stuff.
At what, talking?
Yeah, talking, communicating, relationship stuff. It's just, if we were in a relationship, I'd become a weird, scary version of myself. And my throat starts constricting, the walls start throbbing. It's like a peanut allergy, like an emotional peanut allergy.
And that's the one thing about her that's different than most women. It's like women almost never tell you anything directly. They hint, and they was like, I can't believe you didn't pick up on this, or they overanalyze shit. It's rare to find one that will just come to you and tell you directly what's going on.
And if
that's probably what threw him off. He's like, I wonder what that meant.
And if you do, she's either way crazy or she's way too good for you. You might as well just give up on that shit.
That's
right?
how you can
Either
tell
way.
this script was written by a man. But okay, that's not realistic.
No, Natalie Portman pretty much just puts a gun up to his chin. I told you, get the fuck out of here. He's like, nope, not gonna do it. I like you too much.
Lord.
Quentin Tarantino's no strings attached.
She's shooting at his ass. No, I like you a lot. No, I'm not gonna go anywhere.
I'm like crazy.
I love you, baby. And of course, as much she tells him that, the more she says no, the more he's saying, I'm gonna make this work. And we go through
it turns out he's a vampire.
Yeah, he glows and twitters and all that. But
Twitters.
Twitter. You know that movie with the twittering vampires?
He does Twitter a bit. It's true.
Don't you turn into a disco ball when you
but no, so you can now. I'm not going to tell too much, but I will say that this is, a true to form Hollywood romantic comedy, with probably spiced up with a little more cursing and sex talk.
Wow, see, I totally disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I really liked this a whole lot. I thought that one of the reasons was because it went way off formula in a lot of ways. I thought that
you thought it went off formula?
I absolutely thought it went off formula in a lot of ways. I thought it was neat the way it did turn it around. And I know y'all don't think girls like that exist, but they do.
What are you talking about that? I meet them every weekend.
But the girls saying, look, I just want sex. That's it. Can't you understand that? Who are real hot. They do exist, I swear. They just don't come to me anymore.
No, they come to me and they say, I just want sex, but just for tonight.
Sure.
Don't call me after this, okay?
Right.
In fact,
I'll call you. Yeah. And even then, just maybe.
I'm sure like the don't call me comes after the sex.
But
no, it does. Yeah.
I thought the way it turned around the role reversal was good. I thought it was very entertaining on the whole. I thought Ashton Kutcher was nothing but a woman's fantasy. I'll hand you that.
I will agree.
Absolutely. But, so what? There's a lot of films that we don't complain about the woman or nothing but a male's fantasies. So,
I agree. Honestly, I was scratching my head after 30 minutes of this movie going, what's wrong with me? Am I liking this film right now? It's like, everyone's actually kind of charming, and Natalie Portman, the one thing about this film which I was really worried about, because seeing the trailers, I thought, she looks like she's acting too hard to be funny. But watching this, I thought she actually did a great job. The character she played was actually pretty interesting and kind of cool.
Well, that was the thing.
She dug the hell out of her.
She was endearing, and she was flawed in a real and human way, and not in the way that all these other romantic comedies do. Like, oh, look, they fall down a lot. Aw. That wasn't her at all. She actually had real depth to her, where you were like, she tells you going into it she's fucked up and she has a history of problems. And they talk about that, And the thing is like, she's so utterly honest about it, you couldn't help but like her for that.
And I thought even the scenes where they had her not really, being a bitch, but you could just read by her great acting that, she was having these battles in her head going, is this really what I want to turn into? As far as being this type of person in this relationship.
Right.
Which I really dug.
It was even hard to ever call her a bitch. I mean, she was true to herself the entire time. And you sense the conflict within her, where she's like, she's trying to do what she thinks is best, even though it hurts people, which is what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the other thing about Natalie Portman in this movie is, man, she's tiny.
Oh, you just not noticed?
No, I always knew she was small, but I'm like, she's about 3 feet tall. I mean, like those little music boxes where they have a little dancer inside. They go ding, 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 ding. She could be that like life size.
She is that. She's that ballerina on top of your music box.
That's how they found her.
She came from Middle Earth, rounded her ears off and mixed in with humanity. No, she's very waifish. But
it's true. If a normal sized guy has sex with her, he's got to put electrical tape around her so she doesn't explode.
Leon, is this the first time you realize this only because she was walking around in underwear half the time in this movie? Is that?
Well, it's because she's standing next to Ashton Kutcher the whole time. Where you're like, Jesus Christ.
Next to a basketball player the whole time.
I tell you,
they should have made like her best friend be played by David Prowse or someone like that if they wanted to show it off that much.
It was a good idea that her last love interest was Mila Kunis. So yeah.
No, this is very much, as you say, a woman's fantasy. It truly is. I mean, Ashton Kutcher is the guy that every woman fantasizes about, who will just fight for them no matter how bitchy they are to them. But even so, they give things to women that they don't give to men in a film like this. It's a very rated R film, but you don't ever see any female nudity in it, but you get to see Ashton Kutcher's ass right there annoying. In front of the screen.
I couldn't even hear the ass. There were so many women screaming in that theater.
But the other thing that you have to notice is that they also, now I don't know if this was made conscious for the film or if Ashton Kutcher is just getting older, but he looked like an average guy. He wasn't well toned. He doesn't have the six pack anymore. With his shirt off, he looks just like an average guy. And I think women are looking at that and saying, okay, he's a good looking guy, but again, he's the fantasy that I'm looking for, not the chiseled model, but an obtainable, everyday but good looking guy.
Well, it's one of those things that makes it believable. Like when he's having trouble getting laid. Normally, like you see Ashton Kutcher from those camera commercials where women are falling all over him. Then he's trying to go like, I can't get any girl to come suck my dick. You're like, oh bullshit! Get out of here! I'm not buying it for a second.
I mean, you heard about him cheating on Demi Moore. And
did that happen?
Oh yeah, it finally happened. I mean, it's only a matter of time.
You haven't seen that chick online, the girl he banged that looked like a bunch of used luggage on the floor, dude. After he banged.
Oh, after he got through with her, yeah. He filmed her with the wet spot on her and everything. I mean, it was like. It must have been something that made him stupid because he filmed the evidence. I mean,
that chick looked like a victim from a crime scene, like that. The chalk white outline.
Okay, so
maybe she was. Maybe he tried to kill her when he got done, and he just wasn't good at it.
You know what? It really looked like he didn't use a rag to wipe his penis off. He used her, like he picked her up, wiped himself up, and threw her back down on the bed, and then
that's somebody's daughter.
He put her in the biohazard bin next to his bed. I think it was full.
That's somebody's daughter.
Yeah. And so what? If she was at a strip club, you'd be looking at her.
As long as it wasn't Bruce Willis's daughter.
I can't wait to go to the strip club with Leon. I'm going to scream that at Leon every time we're at the strip club. That's somebody's daughter.
But
it was a rumor Willis was it?
I don't know. I didn't see her face.
Yeah, her chin would have been sticking out enough you could have seen.
Oh, come on.
But he does make it believable in here. He's not quite schlubby, but he's like you said, you guys saying he's a perfect woman's fantasy. But I've known guys like him who've had those same troubles, and they were good looking. Maybe the little less than him, but still were at that spot where they would be the bitch. You'd be like, man, a good looking guy like you could have any woman you want, but somehow they just don't have the.
Sorry, I still don't buy it. I don't buy him as a schlub.
I'm talking about you, Cole.
This is a guy who's still in the movie hanging out with like two hot bitches by accident who just happen to be in his house, like getting butt ass naked, and girls are coming over getting into fights over him. I'm like, okay, this. I don't know whose world this is.
Yes, co-host. Embrace the jealousy. Reach out with your jealous feelings. Come to the dark side.
Now it's like your eyes are green.
His eyes are green with envy. That's all it is.
I never thought I'd say this, but the thing I like best about Ashton Kutcher's performance in this, I can't believe I just said those words, but is that his normal comedy tics, which were kind of funny back in the 70s show days, but have been overplayed over the years, are so toned down that you actually remember why they were funny again. There's little things he does when he's nervous with his eyes and stuff. You're like, okay, that was well played. And maybe that has more to do with the fact that Ivan Reitman actually knows how to direct a movie.
That's true.
You know, that's got to be it, that you have a veteran director who knows what he's doing. Because most of the time, you go like, hey, there's a new Ashton Kutcher movie. You're like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to see that. And Cyrus, you had me scared because I was a little optimistic about this, but for some reason, when you're like, yeah, but it's coming out in January. I'm like, oh man.
Well, Ashton Kutcher, I always thought I never thought he was bad. I've seen several Ashton Kutcher movies where even if they were bad, he was somebody that stood out in that film, like that big Ensemble train wreck, which was Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. He was one of the only characters that you actually felt for. And if anybody's ever seen that movie. What was it?
I kind of like the Butterfly Effect personally.
I liked him in the. That's right. See, that's what I'm talking about. The Butterfly Effect. I liked him in that. And there was that movie. What?
I'm dying to put these movies on my Netflix.
You should. Watch them at home. They're not. I mean,
you'd actually like the Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, Butterfly Effect. You would like Valentine's Day. Skip that. But what was that other movie he was in with Anne Heche?
Where he's banging constantly.
Yeah, where he's banging her throughout the whole film.
We were just talking about
something.
Swirl. What is it? What is the movie about him making? What is he? An ice cream maker in that movie? Working at Dairy Queen.
You're talking about. I can't think of the name.
It's got some name like that.
We were just
the last movie I saw him in was The Killers, and that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
And not only was it one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but he was terrible.
Everything
and
about that film was bad.
And that's why I skipped that film. But you know what? I mean, shockingly, while I was scratching my head during this whole movie, I was like thinking, "Wow, Ashton Kutcher has not annoyed me
I
at
know.
all."
I mean,
usually just looking at his face, I get annoyed because he's so gorgeous.
It does follow the recent formula where you have like your two leads, and then they have a pack of best friends. Especially the guy who always has his meatball buddies.
As Patton Oswalt said recently, can't just once the gay best friend not be super clever with a quip every second? So can't he be the guy? It's like, oh, you know what that's like? That's like, yeah. See, no, but I think every gay guy in the world apparently is super smart and really funny. So,
yeah.
But I mean,
Spread, by the way, that movie's called Spread.
I never even heard of it.
Not all that
You should watch it. He plays an asshole in that movie, and he's not like obnoxious or anything. He's a charming, lovable asshole who has the tables turned on him.
But is it a good movie?
It is. It is.
A good
I'm surprised
movie.
that nobody's ever like picked it up and it got more popular.
No, I never heard of it.
This is a
I
movie
fast forwarded through the whole thing.
it does.
Shut up.
Watching the dirty parts.
It does a lot of the formula stuff, but then it does go off book. And it's like just when you think, okay, I kind of know how these things go, it'll sort of do things differently. It'll get a little dangerous. You're like, wow, I think this might happen, or like, wow, I don't know what's going to happen with these characters next. And then just bringing in characters like his dad, Kevin Kline, who's not in it a lot, but when he comes in, he steals the show.
Oh, he's great.
But it's not like a Betty White performance. We're like, hey, look at the old guy cussing. Yeah. He actually has really funny things. But it's goddamn Kevin Kline. He's
so good to see him with energy and life again, because the last couple things I've seen him in, he was playing a much older guy, his own age. And this one, he's like, he's still playing older, but older in great shape and filled with life
he's in better
energy.
shape than Ashton Kutcher.
I know. And you're like, wow, man, fucking Kevin Kline. All right, welcome back.
No, I have to say, I mean, you guys,
Let's go.
You guys are you're saying how much this movie diverts from formula and how much you like. It is very formulaic to me. I mean, that's just me. It does follow every fucking template that a romantic.
Can I phone a friend? Can I phone a friend?
Ooh, Carla?
Yeah.
No, you cannot. I mean, but it's still it's very predictable. I mean, like I said, if you don't know where this is going, then you haven't seen enough romantic comedies. It doesn't divert from that at all. Listen, I have nothing against a romantic comedy having a formula. Every genre has a formula. And that's why audiences come to see those films. And it would be unfair for me to criticize a movie for that reason. What I can criticize a formula for are things like scenes that fall flat, jokes that fall flat, characters that seem underwritten, or characters that seem too stock. And for a movie like this one, which surpasses some of the trite things about a romantic comedy, making it one of the better romantic comedies out there, it's still held back by a few of those things that I just mentioned. I like the movie a lot, but I really can't give it any more than a very, very, very high rental. But there's still some awkward things in it. One, I didn't really buy Natalie Portman's reason for wanting to be not wanting to be involved in any kind of relationship. I mean, they explain it as the movie goes on, and then near the end they put it all out there. But I'm like, that's it? That's her problem? That's bullshit. Get your fucking grow up. And then and then
that's the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, really, that's it. Now I can understand. It's not even like I've had my heart broken so many times. No, it was one thing, and it's just kind of like, come on, get the fuck out of here with that. And then there were some very awkward scenes in the film to me, especially working on the set up, because Ashton Kutcher's works on the set of like a high school musical type show, and
especially Glee.
Yeah, is it Glee or something like that? Okay,
whatever,
yeah, it all
some
the
high
same
school
shit.
singing and dancing.
He's working on that kind of show, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, even for them to be spoofing these scenes are still kind of awkward. They're not really funny, and I'm not really buying this whole set that he's working on. So yeah, there's a lot of things in it, and the typical side characters. You have the friend who's a little bit wackier than your lead guy. The girls have the same kind of friends, and Lake Bell, I think she's hot, but her character kind of annoyed me in the movie a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. I'm more the opposite. Like, she's a girl that I don't think is hot, but her character was like annoying in the way that character was supposed.
But she was supposed to be. So I'm cutting her slack on that. I mean,
see the white chick in the movie.
Which one?
There was like one Indian girl, and the rest were all white.
An Indian robot.
But I mean, and there's things like Ludacris, who's in the movie, who just seems thrown in there, who's not bad. I actually think that Ludacris is not a bad actor. Just sometimes people just don't know what to do with him. I mean, really,
I like him in it because they didn't call any attention to him. I thought that was a great role for him to take.
I just about him like he's a stray dog.
He's funny, but he's part of an ensemble cast.
I like Ludacris. I just felt like, he's just in here because he's Ludacris. Again, he's like, the side black character we don't know what to really do with. He's just there to show that these guys are diversity.
And they're like, "Oh, you're one of the actors? Now we gotta get a new valet driver."
Nothing in here about shooting anyone anywhere. I don't really know what do you mean they're not sure what to do with him? He played a funny part in it. I mean, just because he's Ludacris, they have to do something special with him?
Like I said, it's not even because it's Ludacris. Again, I would really like to see these.
It's ludicrous.
I would like to see the friends be more than just, hey, we're the guys that sit around just to crack a joke or two. Hey, we're wackier than the main guy. I'm looking for something just a little bit different. That's what I'm talking about. By this, it just follows a template. I mean, it's not bad. It's just nothing special. The girl I did like was Mindy Kaling, who's from The Office. Yeah, I always like her.
I don't know.
And like I said, I did like Ludacris. She's an Indian chick.
Greta Scacchi, I believe is her name.
Was that Greta Scacchi?
Yeah, who played the blonde-haired roommate for Natalie Portman. I really like her a lot.
That's
I
a
want to
girl
see her more
I was
stuff.
thinking about. Yeah, no, she was good.
Yeah.
I honestly wanted to see more of her in it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that's part of what I like. The fact, okay, most romantic comedies only have the 3 friends, and they're so in your face and so constantly there. They're irritating. Here, there's a whole ton of people around them in their life, and each one has a small role and a small part to fulfill. And I like that so much more.
Well, it is like a person's actual life where you don't have just the 2 friends you hang
Exactly.
out with.
That's so off book right there to go she actually, both of them have a wide range of people they know and hang out with in their lives. And even while they at points were fulfilling the cliche as far as who these characters you would think they would be in their life, then they never really follow through with that much. I mean,
that is the thing that I mean, Korey, I see the formulas you're talking about. They are there. I can't say it goes completely off, but there's so many places where they set up where the formula goes like, oh, okay, this is where she hooks up with this guy and it causes problems. And those things just don't happen.
Yeah, it goes completely different direction.
No, it's
multiple
not that.
times.
It's something else that causes a problem, and I saw it coming. I was like, it's, the thing I give it credit for is they put it right out there that, look, she's kind of nutty. And so you're not going to have the whole miscommunication problem because she is one walking miscommunication herself. So you don't get that one thing where, it could be solved that easy. It's one guy who just cannot get over this girl, and he's just trying to resolve that through the whole film. So, I like that. And, man, listen, I don't hate the movie, but again, I got to point out some things that I really thought were just stupid, like the ending during the credits where everybody's connected to each other one way or another. I'm like, this is, you ended at a good point. Did we have to see all this fucking hilarity during the last part?
I will absolutely give it to you with that.
Yeah, I do too.
I would tell anybody, if you go see this movie, when the movie's done, get up and leave.
Before the credits start.
You're going to be compelled to watch the end credits, and all that they do after that, it almost kind of sabotages.
It almost feels like someone else came in after the fact, say, oh, we got to do this
we got some more time, we got some more film, let's just keep it rolling. It's like, no, stop.
It's like those bad Marvel endings that they like to tack on at the end of every Marvel film with look what happens 10 minutes later. Yeah. And it's like, do we really need to see that?
Yeah.
Especially with Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman, because you're like, they're hugging. Do we really need to see that?
Well, I get that one.
I understand.
Like the only
they did
one
that
out of
twice.
all that actually meant something.
Yeah, that actually meant something in the context of everything else we'd seen before. It seemed to have a point. But all the rest of it was just like, haha, isn't this funny how, what a small incestuous little world this.
I already gave my rating here. I said it's a very, it's like you said one time I was listening to one of the reviews that you guys did while I was gone, and you were like saying, hey, a rental does not always mean something bad. True. I think that this is a rental right on the edge of a matinee. I really did like the movie. I enjoyed it. It's just the lack of anything special that keeps me from going higher.
Well, I feel very positive about this movie in as much as not only was it way higher than my expectations, but it made me look at Ashton Kutcher different as somebody like to not dread every time I see his name in something. And yeah, it does follow a lot of the formulas. It can be very formulaic, not always a bad thing, but there's also places where it doesn't, and it surprises you. The movie's full of little pleasant surprises, and I really enjoy stuff like that, and it just kept me going. I was never bored. There was never any jokes that fell really flat to me, and just thoroughly enjoyed it, and thought for as formulaic as it was, it came to a sweet, tender place where it's like, wow, you know what? I really like where this ended, and if not for just, if it had been just a little more than itself or not had all that after the end credits, I would give it a right on full price. But right now I'm giving it a very high matinee.
Okay. Well, it's funny. The end credits are the only thing that really threw me off. And I feel like that's kind of why they put them during the end credits. They don't even really count, do they?
Yeah,
because you're right. This was repeatedly surprising throughout it. The moment you thought it was going to follow the formula, it swerved and went somewhere else. Eventually it would come back in line, but there were lots of surprises all the way through it. I liked all the characters in it. You know what? I'm almost embarrassed to say it's a low full price for me.
Well, shit. The biggest shocker of this whole film was that it was directed by Ivan Reitman, who I thought has been on this track record of putting out complete and utter shit recently. That I was just like, at the end of the movie, I was really shocked when I saw his name on the screen. The guy even makes a cameo in the movie. Yeah. And I was like, oh, Ivan Reitman, get him the fuck off the screen.
I heard you. You actually said that, too.
Yeah, you're nothing but an extra now, bitch. Go learn how to make a movie again.
Can we please get another movie from your son?
Yeah. But no, I was really shocked by that. And maybe that's why this movie worked. I mean, because honestly, I was expecting a complete just shit fest, and I didn't get that at all. I thought Natalie Portman was actually really good. I thought when she was funny, she was genuinely funny. And Ashton Kutcher didn't annoy the shit out of me, like I said. So I'm gonna have to give this a matinee. It had all those problems you talked about, Corey. I get it, but not enough to where it really turned me off to the.
See, I think you guys had really low expectations. I don't hate Ashton Kutcher. I like Ashton Kutcher, and I don't, just because the movies come out in January, I don't have this thing of I'm going in here thinking it's going to be shit. So I went in and got exactly what I expected, and that's not a bad thing. I don't ever hold a romantic comedy against being what it is. Like I said, it's just really, in that it's just like an action movie or anything else. It really takes something special for me to recommend it higher. If it's just an average thing, that's what I'm going to do, whatever. Ludacris didn't shoot one person in this movie. I mean, come on, man. Underused, you know what I'm saying? I tell you,
look, it would have deserved a full price if maybe Ashton Kutcher and fucking Natalie Portman turned into the Guardians, the Zool guys or whatever from Ghostbusters. No, from Ghostbusters, the gatekeepers.
You know what? Here's the other thing that really, I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of serious. Is you know me, man. I'm getting to the point now where we're in the day in a rated R movie. It's okay after people have sex to show titties. Okay,
yes. Especially Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I'm not even.
We were hoping.
I know. I mean, Anne Hathaway in that movie she was in. What was it? Love and Other Drugs.
Yeah, Love and Other Drugs.
Titties just hanging out floating.
Seriously, in most scenes where you're like, okay, well, here's the part where you cover up and you can't see the boob. They're like, you know what? We're going to pull that sheet down instead so you can see the boob.
I did get annoyed when I saw Natalie Portman at the edge of the bed where I was like, okay, she doesn't have any panties on, and she's getting up to pull up her panties, and you see a little butt cheek. I just went, oh, and then that was it. And I'm like, really? And then what do I get the next? Big as Ashton Kutcher's ass.
I know.
All over the
That's
screen,
what I'm saying.
Stinking up my goddamn
way to
theater.
Damage your psyche there.
Really?
I mean,
I need to see that.
Every scene. She's either wearing a bra or a chastity belt over her chest, or she's wrapped up tight with that sheet. There's even one.
She's
scene where,
almost naked through the whole film.
But almost. Every time they have sex, she's covered up there. There's something covering up her breast. And there's even a scene where Ashton Kutcher tries to take the covers off. She's got her hands behind her. Those breasts even clutching the sheets like, no.
They didn't pay me enough for this shit.
Them titties look like ass crack the way they clamping shut. No, you can't get you're not gonna see it.
And I always hate it when they have these women in these new see-through bras now, because I swear to God, it's like a game with my eyes trying to spot the nipple. Where the fuck is it? No, that's no nipple. No nipple. That's not nipple.
Oh, is that what that is?
Nipple command. Where is it?
Is that what that laser was that shot the screen out tonight because you were looking too hard?
I was using my predator vision to zoom in on the nipples, and I'm like,
it's just like those pictures they used to make. You just gotta stare at it long enough, and then the nipple will pop out at you once you look at it.
I just have to wait for it to come on DVD so I can so I can save the picture and mess with the exposure.
What you saying, Cyrus? It's like magic eyes.
It's like magic eyes.
It's magic titties. Though you stare at the sheet long enough, you can see through it.
Yeah, they poke right through you. You're like, oh, they're boobies. Oh, they're don't you see? It's the boobies. Meanwhile, Corey's still sitting there staring, going, I don't see them.
But I see an ass.
I'll just Photoshop them.
Go on a date with me. One date.
Why can't we just have sex?
You can't fight me. You're miniature. You fight like a hamster.